Yo, this is Soldrum86 bringing you another video. I'm not going to be too long-winded with this one, but I just wanted to show you guys, like, what's the status has a Jean-Paul Levesque up from the, what is it, the Myfaction, that mode that I do not play, I will not play because I'm not spending money, and I'm not grinding for characters that should already be in the game. Absolutely not. But we all remember the whole thing when, what's the status was banned. But yet he's still allowed to do this type of stuff, and I'm not complaining. I think it's dope. It's weird that Triple H is who he is with into WWE. Like, he's the guy now, right? He's in the Vince McMahon chair now, and yet he didn't get any matches in the showcase. And it feels like they only like to give us so many different versions of Triple H in these video games. It's weird. I feel like by now, because of who Triple H is in the company, I feel like we should have every single version of him in these games. Why not? We got all of these different John Cenas. We got all of these different Undertakers. And sometimes they even kind of mess around with the Undertaker and don't give us the one from like the early 90s and whatnot. Like, so that's weird. But they still give us like a bunch of different versions of him. You just get like so much. But like with Triple H, it's never the case. Triple H, this version of Triple H, this Jean-Paul Levesque was available last year, 2K23. You can unlock him in the My Rise. It was one of those like secret, or not secret, but like hidden things. Like you had to look in your DMs and select this mission side quest, whatever they call. I don't it is what it is. but yeah, you fight him in WCW because this is when he was in WCW, and when you beat him, you unlock him. But then they took him out of the game completely so they could put him in Myfaction. Now, the question that I have is, what is the point of having what's the status be able to do this? Which again, I love. I'm not complaining. I'm glad. Like, this is awesome, because this, even though I wasn't gonna grind or pay money for a persona card or whatever to, no, even though I was never going to do that, what's the status has definitely kept me from even thinking the thought of doing those two things that I just mentioned, even though that was never going to happen regardless. I was just going to simply find a Hunter Hearst Helmsley to download. So I'm just going to use this Jean-Paul Levesque as my Hunter Hearst Helmsley. I'm not changing the name. I'm not changing the ring attire because it is slightly different from when he went, to WWE. But for the most part, it looks the same. Like, he's the same kind of character in a way. So it is what it is. Thank you, what's the status? Thank you. Thank you, 2K, for still letting him do this, even though you do want people to grind and pay money for Myfaction. And don't you lie. Don't say that you don't, because you know you do. That's why you push it on us. That's why you make certain characters only available in that and all of that good stuff. What's the status still? He even has his rock, the final boss rock. The Rock 24 is still available to download. I have it downloaded already, but it is still available to download. And yet people spent all of that money to get the final boss Rock in Myfaction. That you can't change his ring clothes. Like, he's always going to have his chain and the black wife beater and the black pants, the black jeans or whatever. You can't change that. But at least with what's the status, you can actually get how he looked at WrestleMania 40. You can't get any better than that. I think that's awesome. This actually is extremely awesome. So yes, you'll see a match that I did earlier I think it was yesterday when as the recording of this video, it was yesterday that I recorded a match with Jean-Paul Levesque, and I am kind of using him as, of course, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. But yeah, I also wanted to make this video because I didn't want people to think that I did the whole Myfaction thing to get this Jean-Paul Levesque. I ain't doing that. It's not happening. Never, not by a long shot. I kind of learned my lesson when with NBA 2K. I will admit I was getting VC, not crazy amounts. And oddly enough, the silly thing about it, I was buying VC, little bits of it, not the crazy amounts, but I was buying little bits of it for like the headbands and that stuff, because they made that stuff cost a lot. like I would pretty much grind out the skill level of my player. But when it came to like if I wanted my dude to wear a headband or a compression sleeve or like a knee brace or a knee pad or something like that, that's what I would buy the VC for. So I would get like the cheapest one. Like I think it was like the 199, the $1.99 one. And I would use that to get like the headbands and whatnot. But I didn't want to do that anymore. And I stopped. So yeah, 2K is not going to get me with my faction. I don't know. Like what you guys see when I upload these videos is what I like to do in WWE 2K. It's where I have the most fun. Using the old school talent and using the old school arenas. That's what I like to do because I don't like playing universe mode. I never really have, even though I've always tried to give it a chance. I'm not a my GM guy because that's just doing too much. I'm not a my rise guy. If they had like a road to WrestleMania or a season mode, I'm there 100%. But my faction and all that other stuff, it doesn't speak to me as a gamer. It just doesn't speak to me. So yeah, but thank you. What's the status? And again, 2K, thank you for allowing him to do this. I don't get why, because you know what you want to do with the my faction mode. It is just puzzling to me. It really is. Because to me, with everything that happened, you would think that, hey, we want people to kind of grind, or not only just grind, we want them to get sick of the grind and pay money to see if they can get this Jean Paul Levesque. So maybe not upload that to community creations, but I mean it's here and obviously it's allowed to be here. So once again, I'm kind of confused, but at the same time I'm kind of happy. So it is what it is, man. That's all I really got to say about this video. But yeah, just know that when I upload this match, remember, Soul Drum did not play my faction. Soul Drum went to community creations. So thank you guys for tuning in. As always, it's your boy Soul Drum 86, and I'm out. Peace.